Hello and welcome to the Federation of Investment Managers Malaysia, also known as FIMM. My name is Brian and I am from FIMM's Supervision team. I will be sharing with you of our role in FIMM. FIMM, as a self-regulatory organization, is mandated to regulate and supervise distributors and consultants who are registered in deriving to a desired supervisory outcomes. So, what is the outcomes that we are referring here? These outcomes include promoting investors' trust and confidence by elevating the professionalism of distributors and their consultants in relation to marketing and distribution of unit trusts and private retirement schemes, and protecting investors' interests at all times. With these two outcomes as our main goal, what is the supervision role in ensuring that FIMM achieves its objectives? The supervision team was established subsequent to FIMM being recognized as a SRO in 2011. Its main task is to assess the distributors and consultants' state of compliance to the relevant rules and regulations issued by FIMM and the SC, which relate to sales practices in marketing unit trusts and private retirement schemes. These rules and regulations, which the distributors and consultants are required to comply with, are FIMM's Consolidated Rules, FIMM's Code of Ethics, FIMM's Investment Management Standards, and any relevant guidelines issued by the SC in relation to marketing and distribution of unit trusts and private retirement schemes. As mentioned earlier, FIMM regulates the marketing and distribution activities and business conduct of distributors as well as consultants who are registered with FIMM. Both distributors and consultants can be involved in marketing either in unit trusts or private retirement schemes, or both. So, who are these distributors or consultants that FIMM regulates? Let's take a look at the distributors and consultants who are involved in marketing unit trust schemes, or UTS in short. In terms of the distributors, UTS can be marketed by unit trust management companies, institutional unit trust advisors, and corporate unit trust advisors. Unit trust management companies, or we call it UTMC, is licensed by the Securities Commission Malaysia. UTMC manufactures UTS and is responsible to ensure that approval is obtained from the SC before selling or allowing other distributors, namely institutional unit trust advisor or corporate unit trust advisor, to sell their UTS. Moving on to institutional unit trust advisors. Institutional unit trust advisors, or IUTA in short, may distribute UTS for multiple UTMCs, provided that there is a distribution agreement signed between them. While most of the IUTA are registered with FIMM, comprises licensed banking institution, a registration as an IUTA is also open to stockbroking and UTMC, so long as it is within the prescribed entity under Part 1, Schedule 4 of the CMSA. For UTMC, being registered as an IUTA will enable them to sell UTS of other UTMCs. Another distributor who can sell UTS is called corporate UTS advisors. Corporate UTS advisors, or CUTA, are typically companies that are involved in the financial planning advisory business, licensed by the SC. Similar to IUTA, CUTA can sell UTS or multiple UTMCs according to their distribution agreements. We have looked at the distributors, now let's look at the consultants of the UTS. In terms of consultants, these are individuals who will have a principal and agency relationship with distributors, namely UTMC, IUTA, or CUTA. These individuals, who are typically known as unit trust consultants, UTC, are only allowed to be registered with one distributor in selling unit trust schemes. Let's move on to who are the parties that are allowed to sell private retirement scheme, or PRS in short. PRS can be distributed by the following distributors: private retirement scheme provider, institutional private retirement scheme advisor, and corporate private retirement scheme advisor. We will be looking at each of these PRS distributors for better understanding of who they are. First PRS distributor is known as private retirement scheme provider, or PRS provider in short. PRS provider is a product manufacturer who are licensed by the Securities Commission Malaysia. Similar to the role of a UTMC, PRS provider is responsible to obtain the necessary approval from the SC before selling or allowing distributors to sell their PRS. Another PRS distributor is called Institutional PRS Advisor, or IPRA in short. IPRA, who are registered with FIMM, are typically licensed banking institutions, similar to IUTA corporations who are listed under Part 1, Schedule 4 or CMSA, can be registered with FIMM as an IPRA. An IPRA can sell various PRS, provided it has a distribution agreement with the relevant PRS providers. Last but not least, let's look at Corporate PRS Advisors, or CPRA in short. CPRA are licensed by the SC to conduct financial planning and advisory business. As a CPRA, it can sell PRS for multiple PRS providers, provided that there is a distribution agreement signed between them. We have covered all of the PRS distributors. Now, moving into the PRS consultants, or PRC in short. PRC are individuals who has a principal or agent relationship with any of the PRS distributors. At the point of registration, the PRC can only represent one PRS distributor at one time. For the list of the full registered distributors and consultants for UTS and PRS, please visit www.fimm.com.my. The supervision and surveillance activities are conducted using several tools applied for both off-site and on-site reviews. The off-site review involves the supervision department accessing the compliance gaps identified in all reports submitted by the distributors, such as the annual compliance checklist, post-registration assessment, and quarterly complaints report and its trend analysis. As part of the assessment, timeliness and accuracies are also being taken into consideration on determining the manner in us prioritizing our supervisory works. Additionally, we also conduct surveillance activities such as mystery shopping and online surveillance to identify potential misconducts by consultants when selling UTS or PRS online. The on-site review requires us to carry a more in-depth review on a distributor based on identified risks. This involves either a supervisory visit to the distributor's premises, or under our current pandemic environment, the visits are done virtually. Some may ask, what powers do we have as an SRO to request documents or conduct supervisory visit on distributors? With reference to FIMM's consolidated rules, which is available in FIMM's website, under Rule 2.2.2R, FIMM has the power to audit distributors who are registered with FIMM. As mentioned earlier, the scope of audit will depend on the potential risks identified on the said distributor. For regulatory effectiveness and efficiency, FIMM also collaborates its supervisory efforts with Securities Commission Malaysia and Bank Negara Malaysia for those distributors who we jointly supervise. Based on the outcomes identified from our supervisory and surveillance activities, we may require the affected distributors to identify the root cause of any gaps or exceptions identified, and to provide the appropriate corresponding remediation plan. From there, we will follow up the distributors on the agreed remediation plan within the specific timeline. As part of the stakeholders' engagement, the summary outcomes from FIMM supervisory activities is shared with all the distributors via our annual industry dialogue session. This is to ensure that distributors and consultants are being made aware of the compliance pitfalls identified during our supervisory activities in that year. We hope that this brief explanation will provide a glimpse of who we supervise, what the supervision team does in FIMM. Lastly, let's collaborate to strengthen the state of compliance investment management industry in promoting responsible selling to investors. Thank you for your time and have a nice day ahead.